Hey folks, Dustin here coming to you live from our lovely Starbucks studio, though not our regular one. A little bit of an update. I guess I'm just going to go with this. So, Book 2 in Binary Abyss, I started working on it recently. Last month, for those of you that are fans of NaNoWriMo, is referred to as Preptimber. Is it Preptober? It's Preptober, not Preptimber. Preptimber is for Inktober. I started working on an outline, and I got a bunch of scenes, and I've been going through some of my books on how to write because I really believe in improving my craft. So I started writing at the beginning of November, and I've got a little ways in, but I'm going to go further. I've got to finish the book. That being said, what are your thoughts on Kindle Vella? Because I've been using KDP. I used KDP for the last one, and for the core book, for the RPG setting, I used DriveThruRPG. And I don't know, like the idea of being able to publish a chapter on top of a chapter. That little crazy madman that lives in my skull and gets me to do these obnoxious things that get me in trouble says, why not? Why not go ahead and take the book that you're writing and put it up on KDP and release like little adventures with a different crew for Vella and see what happens. Well, that's a way to get more and to test the waters, but at this point, between trying to get the RPG line going and the novel series going, and then I'm also still with Atomic Ninja, and they've been very gracious in the fact that I'm actually trying to get all my other crazy stuff going. So, but I think I'm going to give it a shot. I'm going to pound some coffee and dig a hole, maybe bury myself, paint my face, go out in the woods, all that crazy stuff, and then come back and write my damn novel, because that's what you do. You go insane, you go crazy, and then you write your damn novel. I got a Redbubble store. One of the shirts is gonna be, just write the damn novel. And that's where I'm at. I'm at Starbucks with my laptop, writing the novel. And if I end up, trying to take a breather and write something else after I do what I need to do for this, then I will. As for the RPG, as for the core book, well, the bad news is that I got the proof back, and it was wrecked. I mean, there was no text. The pictures were just out of order, so that means the pages were out of order. My voice is a little hoarse because I got so frustrated working with everything that I just started screaming, and my wife tried to come in and comfort me, and she was like, "What can I do?" And I was like, "Well, and she was compassionate. She tried to help come up with solutions. Like, well, what if I get Adobe? And I'm like, no, sweetheart, I'm a little belligerent. I don't want to get Adobe. I want Affinity to work, and I want there to be somebody that I can talk to about these problems, not how I'm feeling, but like what's physically, technically happening in the real world. Like, if I want to talk about my emotional state, but the problem that I was having was something technical, and I've really come to this whole, nothing in our world is technical anymore. Like, I've had to sift through so many books on how to be an entrepreneur and how to start a business, and following Pareto's principle, about 80% of them are just about mindset and feeling, and I'm like, okay, cool. where's the chapter on forms? And so I'm going to give you a piece of advice. The best book on actually a business is called The Personal MBA. That's, if I'd found that at the beginning of when I started my company, I would be doing a lot better now. So The Personal MBA, go get it. So yeah, I went back. I tried to set it up again. This time I actually went back and I was like, I took the directions that Drive-Thru RPG and One Bookshelf gave you, and I was like, boop. And I figured that since the pictures worked, all right, here's the problem that I'm having. They tell you when you upload it that you have to include the bleed. The instructions say don't include the bleed. And when I got the PDF back, there's this little white section where I included the bleed. So pretty much, if you're with Drive-Thru RPG, because I have friends that actually work there, your instructions tell you to do one thing, but then when you do the thing and upload it to the website says, no, that doesn't work, you need to include the bleed. So I'm like, okay. So what I've done, there's an option with Affinity Publisher called Flatten, and it turns all the spreads into pictures. And since I went through the entire process, I did everything that they said and it would never accept it, and then I included the bleed and it didn't work, this time I've chose to flatten it so everything, all the spreads are pictures. And I'm going to see what happens. And if it works, I'm going to do my happy dance. I'm going to order books, and then One Bookshelf can have money from me, and everybody will be happy. There will be much singing and rejoicing, and I will be the bearer of sacred knowledge. I'll be, the one caveman that ate enough berries to figure out how to keep the tribe alive. You're welcome. But if not, then I'm going to start sounding like Batman, because I'm going to go back and scream into the ether again. This should be my profile pic. Just this, yeah, okay. But that being said, my primary concern right now is the novel. Throughout the whole process of doing the core book, it was just like pulling teeth. I had a lot of help from some good friends, from Dave, from Lou, from Care, from Anders. You guys are great. And the guys at Atomic Ninja were very understanding, because I kicked a few adventures in, but I really couldn't do that much with ANS. Yeah, so I got to get the novel out, and, I guess I just got to turn out more content. At the end of the day, it really seems like the only thing that matters is just to have enough content to be visible. Quality versus quantity, and at 40 years old, the answer is quantity, because we're just a consumer society. Let's not end on a dour note. Let's not end sour, okay? So, I've been reading a book called The Story Grid, which deals with how to outline your novel, and a lot of it has to do with genre and scene, believe it or not, because it's pretty important. I've been learning a lot, and I think that this novel will be better than the last. And some of the feedback I got from some friends was that they really liked it. They liked how fast-paced it was, and they liked how the characters felt unique. So I appreciate that. If you read Lex Talos, go and leave it a review. I would appreciate that, because that will actually help other people see it. Because at the end of the day, I'm writing all this stuff and nobody's seeing it. So if you're a fan, thank you. I appreciate every fan I get. I appreciate, even if you watch it or read it and you hate it and can't stand it, thanks for giving it a shot. So some of you may know Lou Oterio is from Panama, and he's the writer of Andromeda Rising, and I felt that it was important that my friend have his adventure in his own language. So he took it and he put it and he made it Castellan, which is like the standard accepted published version, and we released Espanol, or a Spanish version of Andromeda Rising. Some people were not happy about that, believe it or not. They're like, oh my gosh, you ran everything through Google Translate. No, I ran things through Google Translate. You have me there. So after I did that, I was like, Lou, can you take a look at that? And he says, you need to change Fiesta to Perito. And then people were still mad. I'm like, fact of the matter is, my friend wrote an adventure. It's a very popular adventure in English, and he has it in his own language. And if people are mad about that, I'm not here to help you. But if you are a native Spanish speaker and you would like to take a look at it, we've got it as Andromeda Ascendio. So yes, we're trying to branch out because, I don't know. I actually feel like maybe we should have some of this stuff in other languages. I mean, like my other guy, he's in Canada. I mean, I'm like, hey Dave, can you throw some A's at the end of the sentences? Talk more about poutine and hockey. If you're Canadian, I'm sorry, but I really do like poutine. It's been a godsend, Jokes aside, like that was inspired, guys. All right, well, I think I have ranted stream of consciousness for far too long, and I need to get back to my work so that the crazy stuff I say gets justified as being an artist. Hey, thanks for watching. Stay in touch. We're gonna have more stuff coming out. Once I get the novel taken care of and I get that out there and some of the stuff out of my head, then we're gonna go back to the RPG and we're gonna have more adventures and more setting books. So, hey, thanks for being a fan. Like, share, subscribe. Go buy my books. Tell people how much you love them. If you don't love them, tell people that you bought them and you're like, eh. If you hate them, good. Let the hate flow through you. I'm kidding. Don't let it flow through you. Hate is not a laxative. Hate should not do that. Enjoy your day.